College Football 25 was a solid comeback for the franchise, but let's be real, it wasn't perfect. With College Football 26 set to release this summer, the bar will be sky high. Hardcore fans such as ourselves are already wondering what additional improvements can be added to the game, so today we're going to be diving into some of those ideas. We got a lot of great ideas, and I think everyone's going to agree with the last one, so be sure you stay tuned till the end. If you're as hyped for College Football 26 as I am, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more content. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so kicking things off, we have something that many people have called for, and it's sort of an obvious addition given the way it's completely changed the college football landscape, and that is NIL. If you've been following college football, you have to be aware of the absolute Wild West that the NIL landscape has become, with million-dollar deals, Lamborghini sponsorships, all that good stuff running the show. However, despite that, an NIL system is completely non-existent in College Football 25. I think this would be a great addition to the game, and it would add a fun dynamic, potentially allowing your actions to affect your school's budget in a variety of ways. Get your program on national TV, more NIL money. Take your school from a small, forgotten program to a national powerhouse, more NIL money. Recruiting shouldn't just be about how good your facilities are or the proximity to your recruit's hometown. It should be a more realistic representation of college football, in which recruiting is determined by how deep your pockets are. This would add strategy, realism, and stakes to dynasty mode, and I think that's what a lot of us hardcore fans want to see in the next edition of the franchise. So if EA is serious about realism, they should give us some type of NIL budgeting system. Because, let's be real, college football is largely about money now, and the college football video game should probably reflect that. Moving on, we have a feature that could really take the immersion levels of College Football 26 to the next level. Dynamic weather and lighting. We all love crushing our friends in College Football 25's various immersive stadium environments. The accuracy and attention to detail put into each stadium is fantastic and really makes you appreciate the game. However, one element that could take this to the next level would be weather and lighting that progresses with the game. So for example, if the game kicks off at 5 p.m., I want to see the stadium, lighting, all that good stuff get progressively darker as the sun goes down. Things such as shadows and edges should appear progressively different as the game goes on, adding a whole different layer of realism. This also really isn't that crazy of an addition, considering the fact that EA has already implemented dynamic lighting in its EA FC soccer series. Having a game happen under clear skies until all of a sudden a storm rolls in is something that happens regularly in real life, so I think it would be awesome to see in the game. I would love to see them incorporate a change in stats or attributes similar to the wear and tear feature in College Football 25, with the ball getting slippier if it rains, for example. This would bring an awesome dynamic to the game in which you may have been able to throw at the beginning, but are forced to change your game plan once a storm rolls in. There's nothing more intense than battling it out in the mud with rain pouring down, all that good stuff, so this is something that EA definitely needs to make happen. If I'm kicking off at 5 p.m., the sunset better be creeping in by halftime. Because I tell you what, there's nothing more iconic than seeing stadium lights dip behind the horizon, knowing that we still have a full fourth quarter of football to enjoy watching. That's what makes college football great, and it's a damn shame that it's not in College Football 26. Speaking of shames, we move on to our next topic, the coach likenesses. EA's performance in this category last year was a damn shame, and it's something that we definitely need to see some improvement on. It felt like every sideline was filled with bland, copy and paste NPCs straight out of a game from 2010. Half the coaches had the same default haircut, and there were like maybe 2 customization options to even pick from for clothing. EA basically went, okay, here's coach template 1 through 9, now just pick a hairstyle and send it. Like, you're telling me I'm out here creating dynasties, signing 5-star recruits, and winning national titles, and my coach still looks like he got lost on the way to Home Depot? Now, I completely understand that getting likenesses may be expensive, especially for some of the bigger names like Coach Prime or Lane Kiffin. But if we can't get the real thing, then the customization needs to have way more options. I want to be able to design my coach in a similar way to many other top RPGs. I want more hairstyle options, facial features, body types, outfits. Definitely need some sideline personalities. I want to make my coach a maniacal, headset-throwing psychopath, and I think it's a complete shame that I'm not able to do that. Nothing kills immersion more than winning 10 national titles and still looking like a default character from a mid-2000s sports game. So EA, if you're not going to give me Kirby Smart's real face, at least let me make a coach that doesn't look like he works as a national park ranger on the weekend. Give us the customization tools we need to create some real legend. Okay, now we're going to dive into some serious nostalgia. We have one of the most heavily requested features from hardcore fans. This is the return of the trophy room. That little sacred digital space where you can flex your trophies, Heismans, rivalry wins, essentially your entire legacy. This was one of the most beloved features in previous titles, yet College Football 25 left us high and dry. Aww. No trophy room, and thus no real way to show off your dynasty grind. What's the point of grinding out 15 seasons to win 10 national titles and every single rivalry trophy if I can't even admire my digital greatness from my trophy room? It's like being the richest person in the world and you can't even buy a garage for all your supercars. Like, what's the point of even being rich then? And it's not just about flexing. The trophy room would add pressure to every game. Every hard-fought rivalry win would mean adding another trophy to your room. And if we want Dynasty mode to feel truly immersive, we definitely need to see this type of legacy tracking return. This could include the actual trophies, detailed stat tracking, and maybe even a little section that shows the top recruits or biggest upsets you've had over the years. This one is really simple. Just bring back the trophy room. Let us immortalize our wins, heartbreaks, and legacies. If I'm grinding the game, I want a digital trophy case to show everything off. Sticking to the nostalgia factor, we have our next addition from previous games that needs to return, and that's high school games and Road to Glory. I think this is sort of evident from the large number of high school team creations that are found online, sort of proving that the demand is there. And let's be real, the grind doesn't start in college, and many of us can't relate to playing in front of a huge crowd at a D1 stadium. But what we can relate to is playing in front of our hometown crowd on Friday nights. Back in the old NCAA games, one of the most fun things to do was work your way all the way up from high school. You would have to earn your spot, and the way you played would determine how you were recruited, much like real life. If you balled out, you would become a 5-star recruit. But if you pissed the bed, enjoy your time on the bench at Arkansas State, buddy. It wasn't just about winning, but proving that you were already a legend before you even stepped onto the college field. With games like 2K already having features like this in games in the past, it feels like EA is a bit behind the curve here. Why not add this feature? It would make the Road to Glory experience much more personal and rewarding, because let's be real, there's something special about taking your character all the way from a local hero to a college legend. So EA, bring back high school games, and let us earn those stars, battle for those scholarships, and start our legacy where it truly begins. Alright, moving on. Let's talk about the transfer portal. Much like NIL, which I spoke about previously, this is an aspect of college football that is creating absolute chaos. Every offseason, it feels like half the country's top players will jump ship, looking for a better deal or more playing time, and you really never know who's going to leave. It's wild, unpredictable, and it's sort of become one of the most exciting parts of the sport. However, despite all of that, the transfer portal sort of feels non-existent and boring in College Football 25. Sure, there's some players that would hit the portal occasionally. I remember noticing Jackson Arnold and maybe Aiden Childs in a new school. And I would really only notice because they would end up winning the Heisman. But for the most part, it felt like I really never noticed any influential transfers. And the portal sort of felt like it was only ever used to either be abused to create a super team, or was just completely non-existent and no in between. And I mean, if I'm deep into a dynasty mode, I'd like to realistically be able to leverage the transfer portal in combination with some sort of NIL system, as I mentioned previously. But it felt like this was overly difficult and sort of just a waste of time in college football 25. In real life, the portal is stacked with talent every year. There's tons of former 5-star recruits, Heisman contenders, just program changers. I mean, we saw last year Cam Ward, Dylan Gabriel, tons of dudes that changed their programs. But it sort of feels like the portal is kind of empty in college football 25. And I really just want to see the excitement and reward of convincing a top tier player to come to my school added to the game. And it's hard to do this when there's only 1 or 2 elite players to pick from in the portal. I also think storylines could be incorporated with this to make it feel a little bit more realistic. Maybe, a star QB who's unhappy with his team losing, he requests to hit the portal. Or maybe a freshman who isn't getting enough playing time, he hits the portal. Whatever it is, I think that would add a whole new element that would make Dynasty feel even more immersive and more realistic. I don't want to just scroll through the portal and grab whoever's there like I'm shopping from the clearance rack. I want the portal to feel like the chaos that ensues in real life. I want to sweat over convincing top prospects to leave their team for my up-and-coming squad, wherever it may be. So EA, come on. It's time to crank up the realism on the transfer portal next year. It needs to be bigger, smarter, and way more chaotic. If I'm not losing sleep over landing a 5-star recruit, am I really even playing college football? Moving on, we have a feature that fans have been asking for ages, and that's the ability to create stadiums in Team Builder. EA repeatedly drops the ball in this category, and it really makes no sense to me. I mean, games like 2K and MLB Road to the Show have had custom stadiums in their modes for years, so it really makes no sense as to why EA can't do it. I think it would be awesome to see this added to modes such as Ultimate Team, but at the bare minimum, it should be present in Team Builder. I mean, it's sort of ridiculous to see some of the zanier custom teams that people make playing in a basic ass base Alabama stadium. So what I think we really need in college football 26 are customizable stadiums that we can design for each individual program that people create. Everyone should be able to choose their own vibe depending on their team. Is your team a small town powerhouse with 10,000 seats? Or are you balling out in a futuristic mega stadium with luxury suites and LED lights? Either way, you should have the option to choose what you want. And when I'm building my team, I really want the full package. And I feel like I'm really missing out by not having the ability to build my own stadium. Having visiting teams come in and feel the energy that surrounds a team is what truly builds tradition. And that's what would make a dynasty feel real. So EA, come on. Give us the tools we need to build stadiums that feel unique, personal, and just overall awesome, iconic. If I go undefeated at home, I want to do it in a stadium that I spent my own blood, sweat, and tears designing, creating, and building. Not some recycled field from another team that isn't even mine. Give us a home field advantage that feels truly earned. Alright, so last but not least, we saved the best for last. As I said earlier, I think you guys are all going to agree with this one. I think you all know what it is. It's the feature that brings pure fun, pure chaos. None other than the infamous, iconic mascot mode. I mean, come on, it's what we all want. It's absolutely iconic, and EA should be ashamed that they left it out of College Football 25. I remember playing this mode for hours as kids, and I think a lot of kids at the time preferred it over the regular version of the game. I kind of vividly remember people refusing to play the game if we weren't playing mascot mode, yet somehow EA left it out this time. I mean, come on. There's nothing more legendary than watching a 7-foot Stanford tree just stiff arm the LSU Tiger into the dirt. So, come on, EA. You know what to do. Mascot mode brings absolute nonsense and carnage that we all love to see in video games. I mean, the mode is dumb, it's ridiculous, and that's what makes it beautiful and legendary. This is the kind of mode that makes video games special, and it's a guaranteed way to bring players back for those wild late night gaming sessions that we all love. So EA, I'm begging you, please bring back mascot mode. I mean, everyone's going to keep asking, we're not going to stop. We all want the chaos, the fun, the joy of watching giant cartoon mascots duke it out for pride and glory. I mean, if I can't watch the Oregon Duck throw hands on the sideline, am I even playing college football? So there you have it, folks. Those are the 8 most game-changing updates that we need to see in College Football 26 in order to take the game from good to absolutely legendary. From NIL budgets to the pure chaos of mascot mode, these features would elevate College Football 26 to the next level. Let's be real. College Football 25 was just a warm-up, and it's great to have a college football video game back. But now it's time for EA to deliver the real masterpiece that fans have been dreaming of. Given the feedback they received about College Football 25, the ball is 100% in their court. But here's the real question. What's the number one feature that you want to see in College Football 26? Is it mascot mode? NIL? Dynamic weather? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll be sure to respond as soon as I can. If you're as hyped for College Football 26 as I am, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so that you never miss out on any of our content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Destroy dynasty.